Another weekend, another match day of the 2026 Philippine Football Federation Women's League. Our 7 p.m. kickoff between the Far Eastern University and the University of the Philippines. The second match in today's Saturday footballing day. The first match we had earlier was between Kaya FC Iloilo and De La Salle University. Kaya FC taking a 3-1 victory. To end this day, here is the starting 11 of FEU. FEU who are on 3 points so far in this league. They have the second place currently in their grasp. A win today would strengthen and reaffirm that hold on second place. There's the lineup trusted by Coach Let Dimzon, a very experienced coach across Philippine football. On the other half, you have the University of the Philippines under Coach Anto Gonzalez, also a very experienced coach in the Philippine scene. Here is the starting 11 that has been entrusted to get the first points across their whole campaign, still on 0 points so far from 3 matches. Here are the game changers, should either of the coaches choose to use them later or sooner rather than later in this match. Diego Cordero calling this game for you. So glad you could join us on this beautiful Saturday night, windy Saturday night here in the Adidas Football Park on the 5th floor of the Mall of Asia. Yes, the SM Mall of Asia. So if you haven't heard yet, there is a football field here, free admission for fans who want to watch in person. But you can continue to catch all the matches in this Facebook page where you're currently watching the match. Here's FEU in their gold and yellow, or rather gold and green jersey of a really good 2-0 victory against La Salle last week. And you can see the gusty and windy conditions currently blowing across the jerseys of the players on the pitch. That could be a factor also later on in this game if there are any problematic long shots for goalkeepers. UP, on the other hand, in their usual maroon jerseys, and it will be UP who has the first possession of this game. Our refereeing team for this evening will be led by John Mike Basinang, assisted by Jeselia May Jong and Brian Buergo. The fourth official is Cherry May Bernabe, and the referee assessor is Ravelo Saluria. UP kicking from right to left, FU going the other way from left to right. FU wanting to make a strong start in this game. Again, they will want to carry over the momentum that they created last week against La Salle. As we hear a little bit of the 7 p.m. fireworks that is usually seen in MOA. Early chance for FU to attack. It's going to go straight out for a goal kick for Mariel Sancho. Beautiful scenes here in the Adidas Football Park. What a backdrop for football. Might distract some of the players. Don't be distracted, even though the scene behind them is excellent. Come UP down the right, out for a throw-in. A lot of fans attending this one. Again, this is a free admission football league. So if you are in the area or you happen to be in the SM Mall of Asia at any given weekend, there's a chance that you can catch some footballing action. For those of fans that feel some FOMO, that they can't really watch a World Cup in person, you can catch some local football here since it's a football frenzy fever season. Here comes Tulabing of FEU. Trying to work a crossing opportunity was Kaiza Colina, but that's shepherded out by UP for a goal kick. Still no clear-cut chances 2 minutes into this one. And Mariel Sancho is going to have a goal kick. UP are going to play it short. They tend to go short from goal kicks and to invite pressure from the opposition. And they try to play through or around that pressure. It's a risky tactic, but high risk means high reward. Although they give it away here near and around the halfway line. If you go indirect, it's met by a maroon shirt. Now, can UP have a spell of possession? Espinosa on the ball, going backwards to the center backs. Heavy touch, gives it back to Trinidad. But it's kept by Nuera. Laid off to the right. This is some promising play for UP. Again, they are still pointless in this tournament. Any point would be a welcome point, whether it's a draw or win. Last time these two teams met, it ended in FEU's favor, 4-0. That was in the second round of season 88 of the UAAP season. Sakmar there of FEU trying to bulldoze her way through the UP defense, but it's out only for a throw-in. It's going to be taken by number 67, Casey Bautista. UP at the moment with a deep defense. It's a bouncing one. Dangerous for UP. In the end, it's going to be gathered by the goalkeeper, Mariel Sancho. But as a defending team from any sort of throw-in, the number one rule that you should follow is that the ball shouldn't bounce. Any bounce from a long throw-in always puts the goalkeeper and backline under some pressure. And speaking of pressure, UP there unable to play past it, but they win it back in the midfield. But again, the counter press of FEU is just so intense, and FEU win it back in the middle third of the pitch. You always want to see a positive reaction from your team whenever you lose the ball within 4 or 5 seconds to win it back. Here come UP though. Couldn't connect in the front third. It was Maria Chantal who couldn't find the killer pass. The University of the Philippines only have 1 goal so far in this entire league campaign. That came last week against Kaya. They lost 7-1, but the goal they scored was a really good goal, it must be said, from Jessa May Arañas, who's on the bench for this evening, but her goal was from some 30 or 35 yards. And it was already 3-0 at that point, but there was just a glimpse that UP can cause teams some problems. That was against Kaya, who are by far the league leaders at this point of the league stage. UP's first game of this league campaign 2 weeks ago was against LaSalle. They only lost 1-0. That was a very close game, one that they felt they could have gotten a point from. FU's first game that weekend also was against Kaya. They lost 4-1, but at least showed some threat as well. So the league standings, just to clarify, it's Kaya in front and FEU and LaSalle on 3 points, but FEU ahead on goal difference and UP at rock bottom. But UP have had a decent start in this match so far. Not as open defensively in their previous games when you compare their start in this game. FEU trying to have the switch of play from Christine De La Peña. Couldn't quite pay off. And more fans starting to trickle in. That's what you love to see, of course. Again, free admission. For those of you who want to catch the future games, games will be played on weekends. All games will be played here in the Adidas Football Park on top of the SM Mall of Asia. FEU picking up a second ball. Down the right-hand side, there's an overlap from Casey Bautista. Goes back infield for Abellar. But the return pass was just slightly too weak. Now, what can UP do going forward? Looked like a hint of handball there, but the referee played advantage anyway. That was Maria Chantal van Omeren trying to control that ball. So still no clear-cut chance 7 minutes in. I think that will favor UP given how defensively open they were in their previous games. But FEU will just have to be patient. Still very early on in this game. And they know they have the history and records over UP in their previous games. In their previous season in the UAAP, FEU actually went undefeated in season 88. And that led them to their 4th championship in a row. Going into next season, season 89, they are chasing their 5th in a row, which would be quite historic for Coach Let Dimson and the 11 on the pitch. Very deep cross from the left-hand side. It's met by a UP player. Here's Tulabing. Switch of play. looking for Abelyar, crossed in. UP do just enough. It's back with Tulabing on the edge of the penalty area. Cuts inside and a shot's taken. Saved by the goalkeeper, but the follow-up is not going to miss from there. Kaiza Stefan Colina with the opening goal. Just 8 minutes into this one. It was a good save initially from Mariel Sancho, but the follow-up at point-blank range was never going to be missed. And UP, despite a relatively decent start, find themselves in an all-too-familiar situation where they're 1-0 behind in the first half. Here's the replay. Great work from Tulabing. And great work here down the left to create the shot. It was actually a really good save, to be honest, from Sancho. But from this point, once there's a loose ball, it was always going to favor Colina. Had the entire goal to aim at. Never going to miss from there. But the credit also needs to go to De La Cruz, who cut inside and generated a powerful enough shot to give the goalkeeper a hard save. And the shot was so good from De La Cruz that it was a save, but way too hot to be handled completely. 1-0 for FEU. Not even 10 minutes in. UP need to be careful not to allow the game to fade away from them, because this is what FEU do well. FEU just have the ability to ramp up the gears and play at 100 miles an hour against their UAAP rivals. They did it so many times in the previous seasons. They're doing it again in this PFF Women's League. UP actually the only collegiate team in this 2026 PFF Women's League to still be in this league 2 seasons in a row. They were in it in 2024. FEU and LaSalle were not. So they've consistently participated in this league. And again, this is a professional league, but if you're the collegiate teams in this league, FEU, UP, and LaSalle, you'll be saying that this is your preseason for the UAAP, which will be a longer season. More teams in that league as well. You have the double round robin, then the knockout stage as well. So it's a very long league that you want to be prepared for. And this is their preseason, coming off a lengthy off-season. Now, what can UP do to respond? That's a risky pass. No-nonsense clearance from Calope. It's back with FEU though. This is a spell of possession for the defending UAAP champs. And they're so comfortable holding possession for prolonged spells. And what that does, that just tires out the opposition team. It's a poor pass though, so UP can try to spring on the counter. Magwad down the left has a lot of distance to cover. And she was very isolated, but to be fair, she went for a shot and generated a corner kick, which might have been better than a lot of the outcomes that were possible from that situation. She was having to play a 3-on-1 defensive battle. So a corner kick is a pretty good return. And this is the first chance really to test the backline of FEU and to test the goalkeeper of FEU, Jessamay Lehayan, who's still yet to really make any defensive contribution. This will be a right-footed in-swinging delivery. And FEU have sent forward their defending players as well. Good delivery, and it bounced in a dangerous area. Jessamay Lehayan, the goalkeeper of FEU, came out to punch, didn't meet it. So that was a pretty good chance actually for UP. Just no one could make contact on it. Here was the delivery. Goalkeeper went to punch, missed it. And I tell you what, Arya Riaso, the captain of UP, was very close to making it 1-1. Good press from UP. This is better. But the problem when they're chasing a game is that they might leave some space in behind them as well for FEU to counter-attack them on. It's back with Mariel Sancho. UP with their usual build-up play. FEU with their usual high press. Great cross turn in the midfield there. That was Nuera with some smart play. But it is back with FEU. UP still yet to really build up consistent possession other than that corner kick. Backline of FEU still remains muchly untested. That's a foul. And a free kick to UP. 13 minutes into this one. 1-0 courtesy of Kaiza Colina for those of you who are just tuning in. Diego Cordero calling this game for you between FEU and UP. Match day 3, I believe it is. And this is match number 6 of the PFF Women's League. The last day of round 1, actually, if I recall correctly. It's a double round robin format. Every team plays each other twice. Whoever's top by the end will be your champs, of course. That team currently sitting in that position is Kaya FC Iloilo. Still yet to be beaten, winning all of their games. Conceding in all of their games as well, granted. De La Peña going to De La Cruz. And this is what you love to see about FEU's game. They go backwards when there's nothing on forward, so they don't force attacks. Although that time they tried to force it and just go out for a goal kick. So at this point in the game between FEU and UP last UAP season, in the second round, it was also already 1-0 at the first half. So this scoreline and this time frame mirrors that result. FEU went on to win 4-0 with 3 goals in the second half. UP will want an improved UAAP season next season 89. They finished 5th in season 88 with only one singular point that came in a draw to UST. Ball back with FEU. And that's a rare misplaced pass. It's going to be a throw-in to UP. But you can see Coach Let Dimson's players have made a good start to this match. Rather interestingly, Coach Let Dimson was in the PFF Women's League before this edition, so she was in the last edition, but not with FEU. She was coaching the Capital One Solar Strikers back then. Coach Let, such an experienced figure in women's football. Cross from UP, cleared by Bautista. And FEU make the second and more convincing clearance. But it's going to turn into a counter-attack. UP a bit light at the back here. They do just enough to stop that counter-attack. They have numbers for an attack here. They need to play their cards right. Nearly doing so, actually. That was just a misplaced pass, slightly overhit. UP just need a little bit more of that chemistry that FEU are showing. But you have to say UP have been in this game despite the scoreline. It's not been one-way traffic completely. They'll need to keep up and even raise the intensity levels to make sure that it's a much closer game than when these two teams last met. Calope with the throw. Good touch by Espinosa. Played in behind looking for Van Omeren, but that's going to go out from FEU. De La Peña with the clearance. Actually was cleared, but concedes a corner kick at the same time. So this is a chance for the University of the Philippines. They got close to scoring in their last corner kick. FEU, will they heed that warning or will they continue to show some corner kick vulnerability? Patricia Ann Espinosa will take this corner kick. Has an option in Magwad to go short, but goes long instead. Decent delivery into the penalty box. It's still with UP. Player goes down, but no foul according to the referee. Now, possible counter-attacking opportunity for FEU. And they have pace and numbers going on this attack. It's Abelyar down the right-hand side. Abelyar trying to go through two defenders. Wins a throw-in the end. So from their own set piece, nearly launching a really good counter-attack. Throw-in for Bautista. Looking for her striker in, I think that was Julia Sakmar, but it bounces out for a goal kick. As per usual, UP are going to go short. Goalkeeper to center back. FU with a high press. This time it's beaten. But the forward ball looking for Van Omeren. Once again, just slightly overhit. And Van Omeren has a really tough job this evening because she is the striker of UP, but she's the lone striker of UP. The formation they're playing at the moment only has one striker. And what that means for Van Omeren, she's going to be very isolated. She's not going to have a lot of help because she's the only striker on the pitch for her team. It's up to the midfielders and wingers of UP to get in and around her. Physical tackle there. And the referee calling it in favor, actually, of UP. So there you have the first 20 minutes or so of action between these two teams. 1-0 courtesy of Kaiza Colina. But UP have had some half chances, I would say. Still need to do more attacking-wise. And still need to get their attacking players more involved in possession. Because most of the possession that UP are seeing, it's with their center backs and goalkeeper. This is better though. But it's back with UP. That's a foul in favor of FEU. And thank you so much to the Philippine Smarts Commission, the NCRFA, GoType Bank for sponsoring this tournament and making it possible. As well as the Adidas Football Park, which is where this game is being played, formerly known as the SM MOA Sky. Technically, it is to the SM MOA Sky, so we're in the top floor of the Mall of Asia. FU with a midfield turnover. They have runners down the right and left. They go to the right. Abelyar. Early cross, but that's too close to the goalkeeper, Mariel Sancho. Easy claim. Good touch there from Riaso. Attempted pass down the right. Was a pretty good idea, to be fair. It actually required some sweeper-keeper action from Jessamay Lehayan. Out for a throw-in in favor of UP. Chris May Montero is going to be the UP player to take this throw-in. Goes towards Riaso, holding off her defender. But FU do enough to generate a clearance. UP responded well after going behind, although that's a misplaced pass. That's going to put them under pressure. At this point last week in UP's game, they were already losing 2 or 3-0. So it's an improved performance on that mark. Calope with the header towards Magwad. Some good defensive positioning there from Tulabeng to cut out that pass. It's back with Calope. UP trying to venture up the pitch. It's a good pass, actually out wide to Chelsea Magwad. Try to go for an early cross. Casey Bautista doing just enough to make it an easy claim for Lehayan. But Chelsea Magwad off UP, their left winger, has had a couple of possessions that has looked pretty threatening for FEU. So FEU will need to be careful and keeping a watchful eye over her. Ball looking for Abellar. She's going to use her pace to burn. Crossing opportunity for FEU. This is a good cross. Chance for FEU. Just goes wide. Iris De La Cruz, who generated the first goal, very, very close to scoring the second goal. Had that been on target, I doubt the goalkeeper Sancho would have had a chance. UP escaped that latest opportunity from FU. That's a warning sign that they could already be 2 behind. Another giveaway. Here's FEU. Long shot this time. Very looping and high one. That's going to go out for a goal kick. Again, UP goes short from their goal kick, as per usual. Possible handball there. Referee plays advantage. Long ball in behind, looking for Van Omer. And again, this is what I was saying. She has a very tough job tonight because she's a single striker up against 2 center backs. So at most moments, she's 2v1 and having to play an uphill battle. Now Abellar is going to take on Calope. 1v1 action here down the right-hand side. Abellar goes backwards. Out for a throw-in. Throw-in taken by FU. They try to go long towards their striker. It's going to go bouncing out for another goal kick. Good defending there from Gwen Estrada, the left center back of the University of the Philippines. You'd imagine that the 2 center backs of UP, while they've already had a very busy evening, they're going to continue to be very, very busy given the attacking nature of FEU. Magwad trying to look for a teammate, but there was no one there to pick up her pass. Abellar trying to thread the needle towards Julia Sakmar, unsuccessful. Nuera picks it up, gives it to Espinosa. And UP go backwards for now just to keep possession. Espinosa again with the ball. That's a good pass to the right back. FU sending some numbers forward, but they couldn't make the pass to get them involved. Now UP slightly light at the back, but they're recovering in numbers. Here's captain of FU, Tulabing. Colina, the goal scorer. Back to Tulabing. Good defensive work from Riaso. Captain on captain action. Casey Bautista, early cross. Again, straight at the center back. Ball pinballing between the 2 teams at the moment. So FEU opt for recycled possession at the back. De La Peña. Down the left. Cheeky nutmeg there, but it's straight to Nuera with the clearance. Nice to see some football fans taking in the action. It's a very fun time to be a football fan. We have the World Cup final this Monday, 3 a.m. Philippine time. Spain versus Argentina, Yamal versus Messi. And later this morning, actually at 5 a.m., we have the battle for third place between France versus England. What a time it was this past month for the World Cup. Don't forget, of course, the Philippine women's national team are in their own World Cup next year in Brazil. Back-to-back World Cup qualifications. And our Philippine men's national team, on the other hand, naman, will be playing in the AFF Hyundai Cup starting next week, actually. with the home game set to be played in the new Clark City Stadium in Tarlac. Ball given away. Here's Magwad having to hold off her defender. Trying to pass it infield to Riaso, who tries to give it to the left back Calope. It's a good idea, but it was read by Kaiza Colina. Ball starts back with Jessamay Lehay. And the goalkeeper of FEU, if I'm recalling correctly, still hasn't yet made any save. Although was tested with the corner kick. But this is a chance for FEU. Good starting position. And good sweeper keeper there from Mariel Sancho. Riaso goes to her right foot. It's a good pass to the right. Can UP generate a crossing opportunity? FEU do well to recover from that scenario. Tulabing. Heavy first touch, but she keeps the ball. And wins a foul, according to the referee. UP's midfield giving FEU's midfield a harder time in this match. Ball in behind, picked up by Calope, back to the goalkeeper. First time clearance. It's back with FEU. Bautista. De La Cruz to Labing. Good ball movement from FEU. It's going to go back to De La Cruz down the right, taking on Calope. Going the inside of the defender. But pass was just lacking a little bit there. Ball stays with FEU. It's good possession in UP's half. It's back with De La Cruz. This time goes for the early cross. It's met by a maroon shirt. Tulabing with the long shot that's off target, out for a goal kick. FEU just switching the positions of some of their attackers. De La Cruz now as the designated right winger. Earlier that was Abelyar. Pass straight to the goal scorer, Colina. Dangerous play there from UP's Arrojado. Another long shot, again off target, but UP will just need to cut out these misplaced passes if they are to generate a path back into this match. Still only 1-0, so it's still a slim scoreline. But those errors will not help UP if they continue to make them. Back with Arrojado. Magwad of UP, tracked very closely by Casey Bautista. Long ball from Calope. She slipped, but it nearly found a teammate in Van Omeren. But again, Van Omeren has a very, very, very tough job to do as the lone striker. Abelyar now playing down the left. Early cross that's cut out by Espinosa. Foul in favor of UP. That was good work from Vrendel Anuera to win the ball back and win the free kick. So 31 minutes into this one, it still remains 1-0 courtesy of Kaiza Colina in the first 10 minutes. Coach Antos' team trying to find a way back into this game. I can actually hear Coach Antos screaming right now. Magwad with defensive play from Casey Bautista. Given away. Here's Van Omeren. Pass just slightly behind the intended target in Tundag. And now Abelyar, who we know has acceleration. That's a great pass in behind for Colina. And the goalkeeper was in a very, very advanced position, but that just caught Kaiza Colina off guard. She tried to poke it around the goalkeeper, but in the end, it was an easy save for Mariel Sancho, who's had a good performance so far in this game. has done well on most occasions. De La Cruz, Sakmar, early cross by De La Cruz. FEU had 3 in the box, goes straight out for a goal kick. Kaiser Colina couldn't keep it in play. If it does end the first half as 1-0, I think FEU won't be too happy with that given the amount of possession that they've had. But they are still in the lead, although it is a very slim lead. UP need to be encouraged by the fact that they can still get back into this match. They have had set pieces. They have had a couple. They've had one that really tested Jessamay Lehayan with a miscleared punch. Although in terms of actual shots on target, FU are still yet to be tested. They have a throw in here, UP down the left. It's going to be Calope to take. Goes to Magwad, holding off her defender in Bautista and doing well. But Bautista recovered. Tulabing headed clearance. It's going to be a throw into FEU. Bautista goes down the line looking for Sakmar. Finds Sakmar. There's a shirt pull there. And I'd assume a foul. It is called by the referee. And that's going to be a yellow card for the shirt pull, I presume, on number 45, Gwen Miranda Estrada. That was good work from Julia Sakmar, drawing the foul. And you can see Estrada was pulling the shirt. That's usually given as a yellow card, and that's what's given by referee John Mike Basinang. So if you have a set piece in a pretty decent area to be taken by Abellar, goalkeeper of UP, Mariel Sancho, needs to make sure her wall is set up well here. Coach Anto Gonzalez asking for a higher defensive line, and it pays off. First contact came from a maroon shirt. Now, possible counterattack here. Van Omeren needs to lay it off. Does. UP, can they generate something here? Tundag ran into traffic. And the chance for counterattack fizzles out. FEU opting for some possession. We have 10 minutes to go until the halftime interval. Kaiser Colina's goal still the only difference between these two teams. Here's Abellar now back on the right-hand flank. Out for an FEU throw. So there was a moment when UP conceded their first goal in the 8th minute that you just worried that the floodgates were going to open a little bit. That hasn't happened for UP. They've recovered enough to make it a tighter game again. So they need to recover a little bit more possession because they're still in this game. Only a 1-goal lead. FU's lead is not safe just yet. Now here come UP. This is a possible chance for UP. Riaso will get on the end of this. Or so I thought. Promising moment for UP. Good goalkeeper positioning from Jessamay Lehayan. But that chance, just a reminder to FU that their lead, even though it's a deserved lead, it's not the biggest lead. Still very slim. And all it takes is one chance for UP. And one defensive lapse from FU. We have a player down here. That's Julia Sakmar, who just hit the deck. FU will be hoping this is not a serious injury because Julia Sakmar went down without any contact. Always concerning when you go down with no contact. Means it might be something internal. Again, this is in the preseason for both of these teams. So they're coming off a lengthy offseason. And it looks like that the stretcher will unfortunately be required for FEU here. So they might be forced into an early substitution, not even at halftime. Julius Akmar will be hoping it's nothing serious. Chance for a water break temporarily. Coach Anto Gonzalez, animated as ever, handing out some last first half instructions for his team. Coach Anto Gonzalez, a former national team player, if I recall correctly, at some point was part of a coaching staff as well for the national team, and has been part of this UP program for some time now. And that is confirmation of a substitute. Julia Sakmar is going to check out. And in her place is going to be number 5, Rema Anilong, to close out the first half. Well, you never want to be forced into an injury-related substitute. So unfortunately for FEU, they're going to have to use one 39 minutes in. Possession for UP. Can they have a strong end to this first half after a poor start going 1-0 behind? Calope to Tundag. Tundag with some good acceleration, but had to deal with the double team. Ball won back by UP in a dangerous position. This might be a chance for UP to end the first half. That was a real chance, I tell you what, for Van Omeren, but couldn't generate any shooting scenario. Wins a corner kick, though. UP have already threatened from one of these types of corner kicks. So this is a window and spell of opportunity for the University of the Philippines to equalize. They're dealing with an FEU team who have just been dealt with an injury. So they're still a little bit rattled from having to make an early and unforced change. It would be a good time for UP to score. They're going to send forward their attacking players. And there's a lot of targets in the box. Chance for UP. Can there be a shot taken? Still with UP. A shot is taken, but that's not going to trouble the goalkeeper, Lehayan. Not enough power, really, to test the goalkeeper. It is a save, but always favor the goalkeeper. FEU would do well to survive the first half without conceding a goal here, because UP are just starting to gain some confidence a little bit, and they win it back again. That won't help, though. That's a giveaway. And now a potential counter for FEU. They win the throw-in. Again, free admission here in the Adidas Football Park. Ball is kicked out of the field towards the Moa Sky. But again, I encourage all the football fans watching this to go here in the Adidas Football Park. Free admission. You can go after going around the mall in Moa or doing whatever you want, because it is a convenient place to watch football. Throw in for FEU. Here's Tulabing trying to switch the point of attack. Trying to look for the substitute. Anilong, unsuccessfully done. It's won back by Calope. Van Omeren, that's better. And good hold-up play from the striker, Riaso, looking for the right winger. Is that a foul? No, according to the referee. Magwad went down, but clean according to the ref. Now possible chance here for Abellar. Again, more good goalkeeping from Mariel Sancho. She's been good in this half, despite conceding a goal. Once again, showing some good goalkeeper positioning to cut out an FEU attack. Just under 2 minutes of regulation time in this first half. We'll have 4 minutes of additional time once we reach the 45. Ball with FEU. They go back to their center backs, who step forward, opting to go to the right. That's a misplaced pass though. Chance for UP to spring on the counter. Looking for Van Omeren. That pass is just slightly too heavy for the striker. Goes back to Lehayan. Van Omeren trying to start a press. Wasn't really joined by the fellow UP team. If UP are going to press this FU side, it needs to be a cohesive effort rather than one or two UP players pressing. Now, this is a chance for FU. De La Cruz down the left-hand side. Crossing opportunity. It's a good cross and a good claim from Mariel Sancho. So, even though they're 1-0 behind, Mariel Sancho has been one of the better performers on the pitch tonight from both teams. And other than that goal where she already made a really good save, Mariel Sancho is keeping UP in this game. Now UP venturing into the FU half. That's good defending from Estrada. Here's Tulabing, the captain. You can see that Tulabing is a very intelligent footballer by the way she distributes the ball and scans before receiving it. Anilong bulldozing her way through. Shots taken. Couldn't get it on target. That was a chance actually for FU to get their second goal. Anilong went with her right foot. From that type of position, you'd expect them to at least get it on target. That was a real chance actually. And UP a little bit lucky that wasn't on target. Oh, misplaced pass. This is dangerous. FU can double the lead. And once again, Mariel Sancho is the last line of defense for UP and is single-handedly, quite literally, keeping it a 1-0 scoreline. If UP are going to get anything in this game, a lot of credit must go down to Mariel Sancho because if not for her, it would have been 2 or maybe even 3 for FU at this point. As we conclude the first minute of stoppage time. 3 more minutes to go. FU ramping up the pressure now. That's a good challenge by Arrojado. A lot of fans in the sideline. They might not actually know that it's free admission and they can literally sit down for free if they want to. Early cross by FU straight to a maroon shirt. Riaso looking for options for the counter-attack. Carrying it forward. This is a good play. Finds the right winger, but that was well read actually by Casey Bautista, who's also switched flanks for FEU. De La Cruz taking on her defender. Good footwork from the winger. Cross is a good one. This is a chance for FEU to double the lead. And once again, they're unable to take the chance. It was the substitute, Rema Anilong. Not the first chance she's had. FEU will probably feel that they could have been maybe even 3 or 4 goals up at this point, given the amount of chances they've had, especially in the late stage of the first half. But it remains 1-0, and UP, with some luck as well, remain in this game with only a slim disadvantage. They're still in this game, and they only need a moment to get back into it, unless FU can double the lead. Here's Tulabing. And it's going to fall, I thought, to De La Cruz. It's claimed by Mariel Sancho. Once again, good goalkeeping. If you recall, Sancho made a really good save in what would eventually lead up to the goal. Will probably be feel that she could have done with some help defensively. UP again just unable to connect. And you can hear the frustration from Coach Anto Gonzalez. Wants his players to be more connecting in the attacking third. Abellar, once again, now down the left. Very fond of switching the flanks is Coach Let Dimson. FU go all the way back and restart from home base. 30 seconds left in this first half. It's looking increasingly likely that it's going to be a 1-0 lead. But FU actually scored right before halftime in their game last week against LaSalle. So don't rule out an FU chance just yet. Ball sent forward. Picked up by FU. Abellar will try to keep this in. Does just about. This could be a chance for FU. We've reached the 4 minutes. We're now down to the referee's discretion. De La Cruz. Is that a foul? No, according to the referee. And UP survive. And that might be the first half concluded. It's given away though. Here's Tulabing. Long shot from Tulabing. That's not going to trouble Mariel Sancho. And there you have it. That's the first half between the Far Eastern University and the University of the Philippines. FU with an early goal. 1-0 advantage courtesy of Kaiza Colina. UP have ventured forward but still really yet to test Jessamay Lehayan. FU on the other hand have had much more chances than UP and could really be 2 or 3 goals up at this point. In the end, it's only 1-0. 45 more minutes to go in this match. Stay tuned for the second half. We are back here for the second half between the FEU Lady Tamaraws and the UP women's football team. 1-0 currently the scoreline between these two, courtesy of a goal from Kaiza Colina in the 8th minute when a good save was forced from Mariel Sancho. But the follow-up from point blank range was not to be missed. Here's that goal. Right place, right time for Kaiza Colina. No offside as well. It was a clean and legitimate goal, and a lot of it should be credited as well to De La Cruz, who generated the shot in the first place. Second half kicking off pretty soon between FEU and UP. UP had a couple moments where they tried to venture forward but couldn't really generate a clinical effort on goal. But at 1-0, and with this slim lead, UP need to be motivated by the fact that they're still in this game. FEU, on the other hand, need to be reminded that UP are still in this game. Interesting to see how both teams respond after halftime. Hearing as well that there will be changes. We'll confirm in a moment for what team and for which player. FEU finished the first half with a lot of chances and half chances that they couldn't convert. Had they converted those, it would have been a completely different game by now. Mariel Sancho, the goalkeeper of UP, playing a big part in making sure that the lead doesn't get any much worse for the University of the Philippines. Second half moments away, FEU in their usual gold jerseys. Your defending season 88 UAAP champions going for their historic 5-peat. UP, of course, in their usual maroon jerseys as well, going the other way. Another 45 to go. I'm interested to see which way this game goes. FEU kicking from right to left. UP kicking from left to right. Moments away now from the second half. Diego Cordero, your commentator for this evening. So glad you could join us for today's second match. First match today, this weekend, was between Kaya and LaSalle, with Kaya taking a 3-1 victory. Although it was a closer game than maybe the scoreline suggests. And LaSalle can have positives after that performance. Kaya, though, still perfect in this competition in terms of results. There is UP on your screen. The captain, Riaso, leading the team talk. He's had a good first half, Riaso. And if UP are going to get anything from this game, you would not be surprised if somehow Riaso is involved. Kickoff approaching here in the Adidas Football Park on the SM MOA Sky. Remember, free admission for all the games here every weekend and free live stream as well. Wherever you are watching this live stream, whether it be on the PFF page or the PFF Women's League page. Kickoff now, first possession with FEU. So there are the confirmations of UP subs. So Calope and Van Omeren are checking out. Arañas Garrido checking in. There's a goalkeeping change as well for FEU. So Jessamay Lehayan leaves this game with a clean sheet. In her place is Blaine Barredo. So not usually what you see, a goalkeeping change when there's a clean sheet. You do wonder if there's an injury involved. Nevertheless, though, Blaine Barredo entrusted by Coach Let Dimson to continue and keep this game at a clean sheet for FEU. Now UP, they could do with a strong start in this second half. They could do with a better start to the second half than they had to the first half. And they're still playing with the same formation, but it's a like-for-like change at striker. Jesame Arañas now the center forward for UP. Scored that goal against Kaya. And that goal against Kaya last week for UP remains their only goal in this league campaign so far, but it was a really good goal, to be completely honest, from about 30 to 35 yards. Arañas chasing that one. Not quiet. It's back with FEU. And Sabor starting that play. Anilong. Pass out wide to the right. Crossing opportunity for the Lady Tamaraws. They're going to win a corner kick and take it. So a chance for FEU to put UP under some early second half pressure. If the scoreline sticks, this would reaffirm the second place position of FEU on the table with what would be 6 points. LaSalle only have 3 points. UP are on 0 points. And Kaya are the league leaders with 9 points. Outswinging delivery for FEU. They have numbers in the box here, but it's met by a UP player first and foremost. It's back with FEU. Long shots taken. Blocked out Source. Still recycled with possession. Tulabing goes backwards for now. FEU trying to keep the attack alive. They do just that. Down the right-hand side. Venturing into the penalty box is Anilong. Now it's crossed in, but met by Maroon Shirt. Out straight to an FEU player, but that's straight at goalkeeper Mariel Sancho. And this is a jersey switch as well from Mariel Sancho. Tulabing taking it out of the sky, giving it to Trinidad. FEU unable to keep it in. So UP not completely out of this game just yet. Again, there were moments in that first half where they had half chances but couldn't generate a shot on goal. Those moments should be what encourages UP to try and search for an equalizer. And they've been kept in this game either by poor FEU finishing or some really good goalkeeping from Mariel Sancho. So UP are still in this game. That's the motivation. And that should be the messaging from Coach Anto Gonzalez. That our equalizer is not impossible just yet. FEU naman, on the other hand, the messages from Coach Let Dimson, I imagine, would have been along the likes of not getting too complacent with the lead and making sure they get that insurance goal, that cushion goal, so that they can put this game to bed as early as possible. Long ball from UP. Trying to pick up the second ball. Unsuccessful. It's back with FEU. That's the number 12, Trinidad. FEU rarely, but they go long. Unsuccessful. They win it back. Here's Tulabing. Left hand side. This is a chance for FEU. And once again, good goalkeeping from Mariel Sancho. If it wasn't for her, who knows what the scoreline would be at this point. She's had a lot of good defensive involvements. Now this is a chance for UP. Riaso has an underlap and an overlap, but was offside to begin with. That's a shame for UP. Needed better positioning to stay on side because that was a promising attack. Sayang if you're UP because it was as simple as an offside call that stopped that attack. Free kick restarts with FEU. Again, they like to play this possession game instilled by Coach Let Dimson. Bautista looking for the switch of play. That's going to be too close to the goalkeeper or too close to the touchline. Out for a goal kick. UP goes short from the goal kick. Again, high press being employed by FEU. And they create chances from that high press. They did so in the first half and they win it back again in a good position. Anilong won't force it for the time being. Gets it back. Pass infield. Abellar taking on the left back. Early cross. Again, too close to the goalkeeper, Mariel Sancho. Coach Anto Gonzalez of UP asking for his players to step up the pitch to take a more offensive starting team position. One back by Tulabing. But it's a misplaced pass straight into a UP player. Now a ball in behind looking for Arañas. It's successful. Arañas, chance for the equalizer perhaps. Arañas for the equalizer, save by the goalkeeper. That's the first save that Blaine Barredo has had to make, the halftime substitute goalkeeper, but was called into action. And that's the reminder from UP. All it takes is one chance. And if they take that chance, it will be an equalizer. Great work from Arañas. Remember, she is UP's only goal scorer in this league with that goal against Kaya. She very nearly made it her second goal in this campaign, forcing a good save there. UP breathing into some life here in the second half. They have a corner to keep the pressure on FEU. Left-footed delivery in towards Arañas. Just still a chance for UP. FEU do enough to work it clear, and there was a foul amidst all that. Arañas so far in the second half looks like a good sub. A couple times now, putting herself in pretty dangerous attacking position. FEU will need to watch out for Arañas. So FEU have had a couple of warning shots early in the second half, and they give it away again. And it's towards Arañas again. Arañas goes down. The decision of the referee is that this will be a goal kick. Again, Arañas looks like a handful for the two center backs of FEU. Very mobile, willing to make those channel runs. And again, has had UP's best chance so far in this game. FEU need to be careful with this 1-0 lead. UP are starting to raise the intensity levels and raise the tempo of this game. It's a good start to the second half for UP. FEU attempted long throw, headed back unintentionally but successfully towards Mariel Sancho. Here is Sancho looking for a pass. Couldn't find a teammate. Some physical battles going on here. It's out for an FEU throw. Bautista goes long. It's going to be another throw-in in favor of FEU. FEU just slowing down the pace of the game a little bit after the flurry of UP chances. Bautista's going to take another long throw in towards the penalty box. It's bouncing in and around. Here's Riaso to clean it up. Looking for Montero. Won't reach. Catalonia cleans up. But UP win it back. Here's Arañas. This time around doesn't win that duel. Magwad cleaned up once again by FEU's Ansabor. The referee, however, has called a free kick in favor of UP. Interesting to see whether or not they opt to play short or send bodies towards the penalty box. It might be the latter. So they're going to go direct from this free kick in towards Ansabor, met by an FEU shirt for the first contact. Now, the Lady Tamaraws trying to start a counterattack. Still on here. Abellar is going to chase this one and keep it in play. has one player in the box. Looking for that one player straight to the goalkeeper. Tell you what, Mariel Sancho, the goalkeeper of UP, has had a lot of good contributions in this game so far as the goalkeeper. Has had safe hands and good goalkeeper positioning when called upon. Here's Colina, the goal scorer. Abellar down the right. Crossed in towards the dangerous area. Once again, Sancho was there before any FU shirt. No matter what the scoreline is, after this game, I think Mariel Sancho can be proud of her performance this evening. Tundag going infield. Still Tundag. Pass Bautista. Goes for the shot. Or rather, it looked like a pass actually, but slightly too overhit. That's too close to the goalkeeper, Barredo. So this game a little bit more even in the second half. UP have showed more bite going forward. UP with a better shape out of possession as well in the second half. Much more advanced. And there's a crunching tackle. They'll be kept in by Montero. Combining with Maguad. Arañas dropping deep. Long switch of plays attempted. It's going to be successful. Here's Tundag, who's through on goal. Tundag needs to take the shot. Does take the shot. And in the end, it's not even going to test the goalkeeper. So UP in the second half have gotten to the positions that they want to get to. Now it's just a matter of execution, which is still the question mark. It's still the aspect of this match that UP are lacking. But it's better, and it's better than what we're seeing in the first half. They need to keep this momentum. They need to keep this intensity because there's a path back into this game for UP. And because UP are starting to gain some momentum, I'm hearing that there is going to be an FU sub. Not surprised by that. Coach Let Dimson is going to roll the dice because the way this match is going at the moment, it's encouraging UP at the moment, to be honest. Bautista of FU is going to check out in a moment. Here she is on the ball. In her place is going to be Cristobal, who also scored last week against LaSalle. But I think I'm not surprised at all that there's a change from FU. Coach Anto Gonzalez furious and adamant that should have been a free kick. I think it was eventually given by referee John Mike Basinang. As we enter the 60th minute mark, the 1 hour mark of this game, still the lone goal from Kaiza Colina. And here's the change. Marinel Cristobal, who is known as a goal scorer for FU, in place for Casey Bautista. An attacking change from Coach Let. A proactive change. Knows that this game is getting very tight and encouraging UP. So they've made an attacking change to try and regain some of that attacking impetus. But it's going to drop to UP in a dangerous spot. Maguad takes a shot. It's blocked at source. Follow-up shot. Will it drop to Arañas? It does. Arañas! I thought for a moment that Barredo spilled it. She does just enough to claim it on the second half or in the second attempt. But I must say, Jessame Arañas of UP has been a very positive sub. Very involved. Here she is again. Good link-up play. UP could do something here. Pinballing around the edge of the box. It drops to Arañas. Another chance for UP. Desperate clearance from Abellar. But UP are really starting to ramp up some momentum here. In the first half, most of this game was played in the half of UP. Now it's being played on the half of FEU. Good spell from the team of Coach Anto. The Fighting Maroons with some fighting spirit in the second half. They need to take advantage of it while they have momentum, while they're on the ascendancy. They have a corner kick to do just that. 6 to aim at. It's a very low one. and cut out by an FU defender. And they're eventually going to work the clearance. So they survived that spell of UP pressure. Well, when FU went 1-0 up at the 8th minute, some fans might have assumed that it would have been a cruise control performance from FU like they usually show against their fellow collegiate rivals. But FU didn't take some of the good chances they had in the first half, and that's allowed UP to wake up and get back into this game. They win it back once again in a good position. Can they build an attack? Garrido fighting for it. De La Cruz winning it. De La Cruz going for the switch of play. Successful. FU have numbers here. And it's a deflected clearance from Sancho. Could have gone anywhere. Actually might have come off a teammate from Mariel Sancho. So it's going to be a corner kick for FU. And that's the danger for UP. While they chase this game, they need to be careful not to chase it too aggressively and leave too much space for FU counterattacks. I was mistaken, by the way. It's a UP goal kick. 62 minutes into this one. Very tight game. Diego Cordero, your commentator for today's second game in our doubleheader. UP are going to change or make a change in a moment. UP have a free kick as well, just past the halfway line. They're going to go long, it looks like, by the way they're positioning their attacking-minded players. Has to be a good delivery to test FU's backline. In towards the backline, but it's met really well by FU's number 11, De La Peña. Now, potential counterattack here for the Lady Tamaraws. They have runners, they have numbers. Going towards UP's backline. Chance. Player goes down. They're asking for a penalty. Really adamantly, the dugout of FU is asking for it as well. Corner kick, though, is the decision. Cristobal is going to take the succeeding corner kick. It's going to be a right-footed out swinger to try and test the UP backline, to try and get that cushion goal. But there's a sub before all of that. So Hannah Muros checking in place of Aria Riaso. Some fresh legs in the midfield. They're going to have to deal with this corner kick first, though. FU with a low one straight to Magwad. Shot following up. Bouncing in and around the penalty area. Forced outwards. Crossed back in. Straight to a maroon shirt. Colina. Long shot. Straight to the goalkeeper. So UP survive that FEU set piece. And goalkeeper Sancho tries to go long. Eventually falls to the sub. That's Muros. Given away, though, in a dangerous area. De La Cruz loses out in the midfield. And UP have a player down here. And the referee is going to stop the game for now. Looks like a little bit of cramp as well. It's been a very hectic game with a lot of running. Here was that penalty shout from FEU. UP with Julian Arajado making the tackle, but it looked like a clean tackle on the replay. Ball will stay with UP. Drop ball from the referee. This game feels like it's going to be much closer when compared to the last time these two teams met. The last time these two teams met, it ended 4-0 in favor of FEU. But this time, UP are chasing and chasing hard for that equalizing goal. Coach Let Dimson not happy at the moment. Wants that cushion goal, the goal that would make it much more comfortable for FEU. UP with possession. They've had more possession in the second half. I think that's been a big contributor to why they've had good chances, as has been the sub of Arañas, UP's only goal scorer in this campaign so far. UP were down to 11 players momentarily, but they're back to 11. FEU with some possession, trying to enter the final third. Colina looking for De La Cruz, couldn't find. Crunching tackle there, clean according to the referee. And it was a very crunching tackle, must be said. So the game's physical state getting higher and higher. Here's Muros. Given away by UP. They felt that high FU pressure. Possession just pinballing between the two teams at the moment. Colina goes backwards for now. UP dropping a little bit deep for this spell. Abellar trying to find the player in the pocket, unsuccessfully though. Now here come UP. Need to take advantage of the fact that they are a better team in the second half so far. FU, on the other hand, just trying to kill UP's momentum with some own possession. This could be a chance for FU. That was a big chance for FU. Goalkeeper Sancho came out, but Cristobal got there first. And she got her shot off, but couldn't get it on target. Good run in behind. There was space to run into. And that time around, it was misjudged from Mariel Sancho, but she wasn't to be punished for it because Cristobal got her shot wide. And at the moment, it remains 1-0 as we enter the last 20 minutes plus extra time for this game. Arañas tussling, keeping it in. FU work the clearance. UP trying to keep it in FU's half. Unsuccessful. Back and forth action between these two. None of the teams keeping it on the ground, and because it was bouncing for so long, there was an aerial duel and a player goes down from that aerial duel. Wasn't a foul though, according to the referee. Well, entering the last 20 minutes of this game, FAU need to make sure that their game management and how they manage fouls, set pieces, and dead balls is perfect. UP need to do the same. The room for error with the possession that you have is getting tighter and tighter. UP running out of time. FU taking it to the late game. It's going to be a long 20 minutes for FU. It's going to feel like a really short one for UP. More sweeper keeper action from Mariel Sancho. That's been a fixture of her evening, that's for sure. Colina. De La Peña. Abellar asking for it, gets it. Abellar going into the pocket player who goes out wide to De La Cruz. It's a good possession and good move for UP, or rather for FEU. UP stop it before it got dangerous. Throw into FEU. Early cross from a Belliard. That's wayward. Goal kick for UP. UP are just running out of time. They need to make sure that they create at least one or two more clear-cut opportunities. They already have done in the second half, but weren't able to take them. The best of those chances falling to Jesome Arañas, the halftime sub for UP. Ball's picked up by De La Peña. Looking for Abellar. It's asking for a lot. Instead, it's picked up by De La Cruz. Colina. Back to De La Cruz. Combining down the left. De La Cruz's attempted cross is under hit. Straight back to UP. Now, can they spring a counter? Looking for Arañas. Great ball for Arañas. 11 versus 11 on the pitch. And the battle of the two number 11s is won out by FEUs. Christine De La Peña with a crucial last-ditch tackle on Arañas. It looked for a moment like Arañas was going to run through on goal, but she just couldn't control that long pass in her stride, and that's the reason FEU got back. Well, UP have gotten into those positions, and when they get into those positions, it becomes a matter of execution. That's what's been lacking in this game for UP. Still have time. Not a lot of it, though, but still have time to chase that equalizer. Have another chance here to run through. Couldn't control, but that's a good tackle. Now UP have a really good chance. 2-on-2 here. Garrido looking for Arañas. He's going to go back to Garrido. Garrido's cross. No one was there. No one was there for UP. That's frustrating for UP because all it needed was someone on the end of that cross, and it's an open goal. Great work from Garrido. And FEU have an injured player here. It's Abellar. I think the referee is also allowed momentary water break here. Or nope, he's going to ask for the play to restart right away. But UP have had chances in this second half to equalize the game, and they've not taken it. Will they be made through those missed changes or missed chances? We're hearing, though, that there will be more changes in the next dead ball scenario. FEU, can they generate that second goal that would safely put them up 2-0 and make this game a much more comfortable one as it enters its conclusion? Great work here by Cristobal, but just one touch too many. It's picked up by UP. Muros giving away. Long shot taken, very long shot. Just had Mariel Sancho scrambling a little bit, but she did enough to make another good save, and I've lost count on how many saves Mariel Sancho has had in this match. It's with the Belliard once again. Binigay kay Tulabing. Long ball attempted in behind, blocked by another UP midfielder. Muros winning it back, but Tulabing winning it back as well. Surveying her options, the team captain of FEU. Goes backwards for now. De La Peña. Colina. This is better from FEU, but they need to keep the ball speed up, and whenever they don't, it just gives UP a chance to recover their defensive positioning. As we see more fans filling in the stadium. Free admission. So if you're in the area, just come over and watch. If you're in MOA, come over and watch if you have nothing else to do but don't want to go home yet. All games will be here. All games will be during weekends. And all games will be free admission and free to watch here on the stream as well. De La Cruz is going to chase this one. Put out by Julian Arajado. There's going to be a flurry of changes from UP in a moment. That's why the game has stopped. Espinosa is off, as is Magwad. On is Moreno and Dizon. So another roll of the dice from Coach Anto Gonzalez to try and get that equalizer. Corner from FU into a dangerous area, but it's met well by the defense of UP. Stays with FU for now. Crunching and heavy tackle. FU asking for a foul. It's not given. It's going to be a throw-in for UP. Now a chance for a transition from UP. Abellar forcing the throw-in. Again, this game much closer for UP compared to their game last weekend. They were already down maybe 5 or 6-1 at this point. Their only other game after that was against LaSalle, and they kept it 1-0 for a really long time, but eventually lost the match by that score. Garrido's long throw. Unable to puncture the FU penalty box. Muros. Still Muros. Goes for the shot. Genuine attempt and a good idea for Muros, but tight angle. And she was going with a weaker left foot. It's bouncing awkwardly as well. So it's going to be another goal kick for FU. Time running out for UP. 12 minutes of regulation time plus whatever stoppage time remains. For FU, time running out as well for them to get that cushion goal. And you wonder if this game gets later and later, if they'll just drop deeper and deeper to try and protect the lead. Hansabor has quietly had a good performance as center back, as has the partner of her, Christine De La Peña. And at the moment, they still hold a clean sheet. Long ball attempted, looking for De La Cruz. Overhit, and that's easily picked up by Mariel Sancho. Garrido asking for a shorter pass. Wins a throw. It's going to be an FU sub as well, presumably to see out this result from Coach Let Dimson. That will be the messaging. Anilong. Well defended there by Julian Arojado. Abellar is going to check out. In her place is Althea Rebosura. 2 more changes as well. Kaiza Colina, the goal scorer, and at the moment, game winner is going to go out for Levi Caban, and 1 more change as well. It's going to be player number 5, Anilong, off for Rhea May Albano. So a flurry of changes for FEU. So Coach Let, proactive with her changes, wants to see an immediate impact to see out this game. That's a foul though from the sub, Abuel. UP ball in their own half, but they need to start ramping up the attacks. Need to start really testing the FEU net. That's not going to help. It's a throw in for FEU after what could have been an attack for UP. Arañas is going to pick this up. Been very dangerous for UP in this match. Was asking for support. Eventually picked up by Muros. Cross looking for Arañas. I think she's offside. It went out anyway. UP have done well in the second half, but they've really lacked that killer instinct in front of goal. On another day, maybe they take one or two of those chances, especially those chances that came earlier in the second half. Still, it remains a clean sheet for the university, or for FEU rather. Still time as well for FEU to chase the second goal that would ultimately kill the game and make it an early end for UP. But as this game gets later and later, I do wonder if the nerves will start to set in for FEU. High line from FEU. It looks like Arañas was offside, and that is the case according to the assistant referee on the near side. Good high line there from FEU. Very tough tactic to get correctly. You have to remain concentrated and focused to effectively use that tactic. But they played it well there. Coach Anto of UP asking for UP to press. And they win it back. In towards Arañas. Looking for a switch of play. Couldn't connect. Here's Tulabing. FEU still chasing that second goal. Cristobal. This is a chance for FEU. They need to get numbers in the box. Cross comes in, it's blocked really well. And UP survived that chance. FEU, though, this is where they want to be in the remaining minutes of this game. Up the pitch, as far away from their own goal as possible. Albano couldn't control that throw in. It's going to be a goal kick for UP. It's going to be a change as well for UP pretty soon. Garrido nearly losing out. Has to be careful not to give away possession in this area of the pitch. Nuera under pressure does well. Here's Muros. Keeps possession just about. But the high press from FEU, just too much to handle for UP. Now this is a chance for FEU to seal the game. Goalkeeper, once again, Mariel Sancho with another positive defensive contribution. Here's Tulabing. Caban. Ansabor. De La Peña. This is a good move from FEU. Now can they get the cross in? Eventually it fizzles out, cleared by UP. But they need to get higher up the pitch. That's a good win back and good turnover. Here's Muros. Only has Arañas in front of her. He's going to go for the cross in towards Arañas. Cut out by Tulabing. Player of FEU goes down with what looks like cramps. As we enter the end of this game, some tired legs out there now for FEU. And the referee's going to have to stop the game a little bit.
Substitutions for UP. Number 12, is replacing number 20, Janelle Amita.
There is the last change, or latest change, latest set of changes for UP. Napao and Amita on, De La Peña and Montero off. So they have a few minutes, only a few minutes, but still being entrusted by Coach Anto to make a really good impact in this game. How UP would love to equalize in the dying moments of this game. UP will be hoping for a large chunk of extra time as well. FEU will be hoping for the exact opposite. With the amount of players that have gone down though in the second half, I'd imagine that there would be a pretty lengthy spell of stoppage time because of all the stoppages like the one we're in now. Tiffany Trinidad needing to be helped off the pitch. So FEU are going to have to continue for a moment with a player less. And if you're UP, you want to take advantage of that. Muros winning it back. FEU just keeping possession for now. They know they're down a player. De La Peña. Dangerous high press from UP. So FEU go long, straight to a UP player. Now or never for UP. Hearing there's going to be 5 minutes of additional time. And rather smartly, Blaine Barredo of FEU is going to run down the seconds a little bit. And Sabor with some possession. UP do well to win it back. Now they need to move forward with the killer pass. Tussling there between the two teams. UP need to get it in the box as fast as possible and as direct as possible. Sancho is going to pick this up. Every pass now for UP has to be a forward pass. Here's Muros. Very direct. Too direct, it must be said. Tundag was never going to reach that. Isalin Tundag has played the whole game as well. So there are some tired legs in there for sure. And again, Blaine Barredo just smartly running down the clock. We're entering stoppage time territory now. Must be getting a little bit nervy for FEU. Ansabor. And again, a high press from UP. This is the highest press they've had in this match. They feel the urgency. Garrido, misplaced pass. That's not going to help UP's case. Now, potential counter for FEU. This is a good run from FEU. Big chance for Rebosura. Through on goal. Couldn't take the shot, but she goes down, and that's going to be a penalty. In the dying moments of this game, Althea Rebosura with a really good run deep from midfield. Couldn't take a shot, but did enough to win a penalty kick. Let's see the replay. And it did look like that Julian Arajado mistimed her challenge and just chopped the right ankle of the sub, Alteo Rebosura. So Althea Rebosura came on as a sub and has had a positive impact off the bench, which is exactly what was asked of her. Now, to kill the game 4 minutes before its intended conclusion will be Mainel Cristobal. Could be her second goal in a row after scoring last week. What can Mariel Sancho do about that? Eye to eye between goalkeeper and striker. Cristobal, what a pen! And that just about seals the 3 points. What a penalty from Marinel Cristobal. Gave the goalkeeper the eyes, knew that the goalkeeper was going to dive, and just went down the middle. And after what was a pretty nervy and very tightly fought second half, FAU's resolve and grit was enough to see them over the line. So they're going to go up to 6 points and really, really have a firm grip on second place in the league standings. Disappointing for UP. They've had the chance to equalize. More than enough, really, to score. But the next goal of this game was from an FU player. And at this late stage, right on the cusp of full time, that should just about do it for FU and the team of Coach Let Dimson. They found a way, by hook or by crook, to score that second goal. Here's Althea Rebasura again. Could get worse for UP. FU on the ascendancy now. Could get worse and could get better for FU, but that's out for a goal kick. But you can see that penalty goal from Cristobal has just knocked the life out of UP. It's a shame on another day. Maybe they take one or two of those chances that they created in the second half. FU will be really happy that even though UP gave them a really tough game, they were still composed enough to get 3 points, unless of course something miraculous happens from UP. But at the moment, it's possession with FEU. FEU's next game is against Kaya. UP's next game against LaSalle. Start of round 2 of this league campaign. Here's Arañas. Goes for the shot. Pretty interesting one. Goes just over though, but you have to say most of the chances that UP have had in the second half has fallen to Arañas. And again, she remains their only goal scorer in this entire league campaign, 3 matches in. A very, very dangerous striker. The mark of a good striker is that chances just seem to fall their way naturally. 30 seconds between now and full time. Should be pretty standard from this point on. Don't expect another chance to be created for either side. Here is Althea Rebasura. Really good contribution off the bench, winning the penalty. Can FU maybe create one more chance? They might have the opportunity to do so, but the offside flag goes up, according to the assistant referee. And that might be that for this game. We've reached the 5 minutes, and we're now down to the referee's discretion. UP will need to pick themselves up and dust themselves off for their next game against LaSalle. They can take some positives from this performance, especially what they did in large spells in the second half. And FEU, at the end of the day, are the winners of this game. Might be a chance here for UP in the last minute of the game. Couldn't get themselves in a shooting position. And FU run it away from danger. Here's Althea Rebasura. Looking for the through ball. Cut out. Referee has the whistle on his lips. This could be the last play. And there you have it. It ends 2-0 between the Far Eastern University and UP. The Lady Tamaraws getting 3 points, and they go up to 6 points in this league campaign. They were the better team in the first half, but in the second half, were pushed really hard by UP, who did create enough chances to actually score at certain points in this game. But in the end, it wasn't enough, and UP have to take this one on the chin and go back to the drawing board. But for FU, even though it wasn't a perfect performance, they do enough. 2 goals from Kaisa Colina and Marinel Cristobal at the death of the game. And that concludes this weekend of the 2026 PFF Women's League. 2 wins for Kaya and FEU. See you guys next weekend for more PFF Women's League action. But for tonight, this was Diego Cordero checking out. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for the future matches.
Congratulations on bagging the women's of the match in this match. Coming from a win as well in your last game from the LSU, and to your game now, this is your second win against UP. What are your thoughts sa game niyo earlier?
We're actually marami pa ding adjustments even though we came from a win against the LSU. There are lapses pa din that we need to improve going to the next match, and also we did our best, and nakikita naman na all our teammates is nakikita mo yung hard work, and I think that's ikikip up pa namin yan going to the next match.
So yeah, and how do you feel na you were named as woman of the match?
Actually, I feel tired really. Pero gaya na din ng motivation kasi nakita ko na yung nagtatrabaho yung mga teammates ko, and as well you know, to win. Yun lang.
Ayun, congratulations again.
Thank you po.